Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's Jennifer Ferguson with Artistic Painting Studio. And I thought I just need to take a little break and do a little playing back on my studio. And I had this great idea about embossing one of my newer stencil designs with my glass beads. So I thought I would just share with you what I was doing and kind of introduce you guys to glass beads, or for some of you that have played with them, maybe show you a couple other things that you can do. So just going to do a little playing here, and I'm hoping that I can keep my scarf out of what I'm doing because I really don't want to take it off. It's a little chilly back here in this back room. But hey, how are you guys doing? Hi, Sandra and Ashley. I see a couple of you guys are on here. So just a little bit, this is my glass beads, if I can get a good shot of it there, my glass bead gel by Artsyville, and we package it in the 10-ounce containers as well as quarts. And I've already pulled some out and put it into just a container here. And so just to kind of let you know, so it's a glass bead gel. And let's see if you guys can see that. So it is a gel medium that when the gel dries, all you see are just the glass beads. Okay, we've obviously got a little something flying back here right now. Of course, always. But they're tiny little glass beads in here. And the objective is to apply these to whatever your surface is, and to keep them even, meaning they need to be like one layer. You don't want the glass beads to kind of get clumped up on top of each other and you know, where they're 2 or 3 deep, because when that happens, the gel that's in the glass beads doesn't dry clear and you'll get some hazing or frosting. So you do want to keep them real smooth. So this is what they look like straight out of the container, okay? And it's a really thick medium, so it's not like a liquid, okay? And hi to you guys who are joining me. Glad to see you here. So you can use them straight out of the jar, which I haven't decided if I'm going to use them straight or am I going to actually add some glitter to them. So you can use them straight out of the jar, or I like to either add glitter, or I also will add mica flakes, or sometimes I'll add both. Is there just one color? Yeah, Patricia, all I have are the glass beads are just like a clear glass, okay? So there's no color to them. All the color that I create with using the glass beads is by what I'm adding to them. And I'm going to show you guys down here. Let me see if you can see this here. I already had started playing around with this because I was kind of wanting to see the coloration. So here's the glass bead, straight out of the jar, nothing else added to it, and all you see is just the shimmer of the glass bead itself. Now here on this one, I added one of my glitters called Shimmering Sand to it. So now that has that little bit of glitter with the glass bead. And this one over here, this one has the glitter. It has mica flakes, and the mica flakes that I added were called, I think those are the antique bronze, okay? So you really can change the look or the color of it by what you're adding. And hopefully you can see how beautiful, and you can see how the beads, see how the glass beads just reflect. And that is one thing that I've found. If I'm using the glass beads and all I'm adding to them is glitter or mica flakes, I don't take away from the glass bead itself. I had found, and I'll share with you guys, I found an old sample that I had done, and I was really scrutinizing it, and I'm like, you know, the glass beads are just not really pretty in this. And I believe it's because I was adding color, okay? So on here, the glass beads, you just don't really see them. And I was adding a little colorant to the glass beads and it took away from them. And even on this sample here too, no matter how much I try to change it and get that light to reflect off of them, the colorant in them doesn't do well. So I'm finding that the best way to do and work with the glass beads is by just adding glitter and mica, because then again your glass beads are still going to shimmer and you haven't colored over them. So those are the ways that I like to work with them. So here's another sample that I did. Okay, and you can see the reflection on these, that they're beautiful. So this is a combination of the glass bead gel with mica flakes. I don't think there was any glitter in there. I think it was just the glass bead and mica flakes. So you can see what a pretty sample that is. And just so that you guys can see, the background on this whole sample was my zebra roller. And then I painted it with a metallic paint. I think it's Smoke by Modern Masters. And then just did the, this one, I can't remember the name of the stencil. Okay, I think it's just called Bubbles. And that was just a mixture of glass beads with some mica flakes in them. So there's some really pretty things that you can do. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm playing around with and what my great idea was. So I'm going to do the beautiful new stencil that's called Summer Breeze. Okay, I think if you guys have followed me, you've seen me use this one a couple of times. Yes, it's really, Patricia, a great look. The glass beads are stunning, okay? And it just takes it up a little, you know, a notch to a higher caliber, I guess, would be a great way. But my whole idea on this is that I'm going to stencil the flowers with the glass beads, and then as far as the vines and the leaves, I think I'm going to either emboss those with metallic plaster, or I might just go ahead and paint them with a metallic paint. And the sample that I'm playing with here was a sample that I already did with metallic plaster, so that we've got a nice shimmering background. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to mix it up where I'm using the glass beads and using some other form of product, so it's not just all glass beads. Okay, so I'm going to reposition the camera here, and let's see if I can get that straight so it looks a little bit better. Hopefully you guys can see that pretty well. Okay, so let's get my stencil taped on, because the one thing you always want to do is make sure your stencil is secure, okay? And I'm only going to do the flowers. So I'm not feeling like I need to put like a spray adhesive on the back of here. And that's kind of like my little hesitation, is a lot of times when I'm doing any type of embossing, I have a tendency to always put the spray adhesive on the back of the stencil, and that way the stencil stays in position and it won't like suck and pull and lift up on you. But let's see if I can do this without using this spray adhesive. I'm not really wanting to use that. So my favorite tool, okay, if I haven't shown you guys this before, this is called the Color Shaper. And it is a rubber material that's flexible, and this is like the coolest tool ever for working with the glass beads. So all I'm going to do is dip into the jar and then just glide those beads over the opening for the flower. And I'm going to try to stay out of all the leaves, okay? And like I said, I'm trying to get a nice even layer of the beads into the opening. So you don't want to have them stacked on top of each other. And I'll tell you, before we discovered this tool, was always using like my room keys or any other like plastic material, kind of like material that was great for like laying the beads down, but was never ever this smooth of an application. So this tool is just wonderful because you don't hear any of those beads flying around, which is normally what you would have happen with doing something like this. The beads would just be flying because the hard plastic just wasn't like the best applicator tool, but it was about the only thing I could find. So this rubber is just the coolest of cool, okay? Even after doing this for so many years, it's so much fun when you find a tool that makes your whole project about 1,000 times easier. And so all I'm going to do is when the product starts coming up the tool, it's nicer that it's on the edge. So I'm just using my scraper to put it back down there. Oh, anytime, Rhonda. Yeah, that's one cool thing that we've been doing, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it, is we now have where if you've signed up for our little bot messenger, I guess is what we'd call it, anybody that has typed on the word live, and I'm not sure if Ashley has it on for this one or not, but if you're new to being on here and you want to know when I'm going to be live, just type the word live in your comment and let's see if you get added to our bot, okay? So it just kind of notifies you. I think we try to do it like 5 minutes before. I've tried a squeegee, but you know, a squeegee is just a little bit different. So you could definitely try that, but I'll tell you, there's just nothing better than this particular tool. And it's nice, the size of it, the handle, everything is great about this. So I'm just gliding it over all the flowers. Okay, let's hope Ashley has that turned on, and if she doesn't, maybe she can turn it on for you guys, okay? So see if you can get added to our messenger. I know she was on here earlier, but I'm not sure she was staying on for the whole tutorial here. So once I get all the flowers done, and these are just straight oh, okay. So Ashley said she just got it set up. So if you want to be notified when I'm going to come live, type the word, I think she said like, okay? And that way you'll get added to the messenger. So if you already typed the word live, type again and write like, and then she'll get you set up. We weren't set up to do that this one. So I think I'm going to actually skip maybe a couple of the smaller ones, and I think I'll add some glitter to those and see how that comes out. It'd be kind of fun to have some with glitter and some with just glass beads. Oh, no, type live. Okay. I think we had a typo, or I didn't read that correctly. I'm sorry. So type the word live. If you've typed it once, type it twice, okay? And that way we'll make sure that you get added on there. Hope that was not me. Okay, so don't type like, type live, L-I-V-E, okay? Sorry, I'm not sure whose error that was, because I do have the camera at a strange angle right now, so I can't see the comments as well. But we would love for you guys to get added to the bot, so try it again, type live. This is just fun thing to do, you guys. And if you're trying to figure out where all you could use this technique, okay, I'm going to save a few of these. I'm going to save, I think, those. Okay. Wonderful on walls, okay? I always love embossing stencil designs on walls. I think it just adds so much texture, dimension, especially glass beads. They're just stunning. But if you were just trying to do some furniture, let's see if I can move this up a little bit so you guys continue to see what I'm doing. If you're trying to do a furniture project, I would say you'd be very safe if you kept the glass beads onto your drawer fronts, or even if you did the side of a piece of furniture, or a raised cabinet panel, kind of just depending on the piece itself. I'm really hoping after the first of the year that I'm going to get going on some of my furniture pieces here that I've got piled up. To be honest with you, there's two things that have been keeping me away from them. One of them is the fact that it's just stinking cold back here, okay? And the other thing that's been calling my name is, unfortunately, my accounting is really backed up and I'm trying to get it finished as quickly as possible. So those are two reasons I haven't been back here playing too much. Dry time. I saw somebody ask about drying time. Okay, first of all, Jill, you want to know what I'm painting with. Okay, the product that I'm putting on to the flowers is glass bead gel, and I'm using what's called a color shaper, and you'll find the color shaper on my website if you're looking for one of these. Definitely a wonderful tool to use with glass beads. And any of my softer materials, I do use this for embossing, so it works with the metallic plaster, works really great. And I'm trying to think what else have I used. Any of my heavier body materials, I won't try that because it's too flexible, okay? Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of the bead gel here. I'm going to move it into another container, and I'm going to go ahead and add some glitter. So, because my background is silver, I'm just going to add some silver glitter to this, okay? So I've got some silver glitter, isn't that pretty? And my glass beads in there. Probably don't need too much. So I'm going to mix that together. So this will just be something a little fun so that some of the flowers have some of the glitter in them. And I might add just a little bit more. I don't want to overkill it, but definitely want that to show silver. Okay, drying time. I knew there was another question there. Okay, glass beads. Do not force them dry. So don't get anxious and get your blow dryer out and try to force these dry, because you will surface dry the material and you will probably cause hazing or frosting, okay? So just let them dry naturally, and they do take a while, okay? I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna take hours to dry, especially if I left them in this back room. If I moved them up to my office, where it's definitely warmer, they would dry, oh, excuse me, quicker, but still, they do take a while to dry. So you're just gonna have to be patient. And I'll show you the dried samples again versus how they look when they're wet like this, because it's such a huge difference. All this milky white material is going to be gone. It's just going to disappear, and all we're going to see are those glass beads and glitter, okay? So if you're playing around with different colors and trying to figure out what kind of combination, if you're going to try, you know, different glitter colors and you want to see, you will have to make a little sample and allow it to thoroughly dry before you're going to see what color it's going to come out, or how strong you have it, how much glitter you've put in. Is it enough glitter, too much glitter, not enough glitter? So you do have to kind of just wait, okay, and be patient. And so sometimes that's just so hard to be patient when we're waiting for something like this to come alive. Okay, so I'm at a point Ah, yes, Debbie, this is that stencil, so see what else you can do with it. Debbie bought this stencil and she did a beautiful dresser with it. I know that we recently shared her project even on our page. Okay, let me back up here for a second, guys, so I can read those questions. Let's see if I can see that. Okay. Gosh, I wish I could tell you. The glass beads are really, really tiny glass beads. I don't know if I could tell you a size on these. I also have, this is my small glass bead. We also have a larger glass bead. So kind of depending on what you're doing, you can play with the two different size beads, okay? You could add some glass glitter, but that does add texture, okay? So that would be, I mean, you definitely could emboss, okay? Because even when I'm getting in the glass beads, glass glitter, and mica, you get some texture with it. So you just want to make sure and just test it out and, you know, make sure you like the way it looks, okay? And let me make sure that I've got all the questions here, okay? Oh, good. When I scroll back like that, sometimes it gets stuck and I can't see all the new questions. Okay, I'm trying to determine now if I really want to finish this off with all glass beads or if I want to do what I'd first thought about, which is for the leaves and the stems going back to either a paint or embossing it with something similar to the metallic texture that I already had used. So is anybody going to chime in and give me their opinion? Hi, Susan. It's so nice to see you. Kind of looking at this going, oh my gosh, do I want to see it all in glass beads or do I not? Because I know when we get into larger areas like this, getting the glass beads to lay down and fill that whole area sometimes is a little bit challenging. So I like to do things that are thinner openings, smaller openings. Oh, I like the idea of even green foil. Okay, so I think I will stop at this point and use something else. Because I think it'll be fun to just incorporate, I like the different textures together. Okay, so I'm going to show you another thing when using glass beads. As you guys are noticing, I'm pulling everything off of my tools, okay? Not only do you want to clean your tools off and try to recapture all your beads, but because of two reasons, okay? One reason being that they're pricey, okay? So you definitely want to save them, okay? You want to recapture them. So even everything on here, I'm going to recapture and put back into the jar. Now I have a combination of glitter and just glass beads on here. So I'm probably going to capture all this and put it into the container that I had the glitter in so that I'm not contaminating just the regular glass beads. I think I'm going to wait for this to thoroughly dry and then I can come back and reposition the stencil and do the rest, because I'm afraid if I start trying to get any other product on here, I'm going to get into the glass beads very easily, okay? So I think I'm going to have to wait. The glass beads, this is one of my products. So Becky, you can find, here's the jar again, and I know it's backwards, you guys, but that's on my website, and you'll find it under the Artsyville collection. And it comes in the 10 ounce as well as the quarts, okay? Gosh, my brain, sometimes I just can't find the words. Okay, so I want to show you guys how to capture everything back. Again, I'm going to put the camera back down here. I just miss being able to see the comments better. Okay, so again, here's the difference. Right here is the glass beads with nothing in them. So that is how they're going to look when they dry compared to how they look right now, where they just look white, okay? And this is how it dried with the shimmering sand glitter in the glass beads, whereas I just used the silver in there, okay? So I'm going to lift off my stencil carefully and unattach it there. That is going to be so stinking pretty. It's gorgeous even now, okay? How fun is that going to be? You know, even if I don't come back and put the leaves and the vines in, that is really still even pretty, okay? Okay, so I want to put that someplace safe so I don't ruin that. And here's just a piece of my packing paper. I use this packing paper so much. And show you guys how I'm just going to still use the same tool and just scrape over all the openings, and look how much material that you're going to get back, okay? So it's just nice to be able to recapture your material so you're not wasting it, but also, you guys, I don't want to see this product go down my my sink. So I'm doing this for a couple of reasons, okay? For one reason, it is nice to be able to save that material, because there's so much when you're embossing that is just covering the stencil itself and it's not going into the openings, that you can reuse it. But also, you just don't want to allow stuff like this to go down your drain. So I'm really careful about recapturing, cleaning my stencils off, and making sure that there's none of this material that's going to go down my drain. And I also wipe off all my tools first, and make sure that I'm not even getting it from the tools. Now, when you clean off the stencil, it also does go into the opening. So there are times where you can even come back and recapture from here, as long as you were on something clean, okay? So it's amazing how you can really not have so much waste with just doing a simple cleanup, okay? Because there's not much that's going into the openings itself. Oh, Patricia, you know, you're hitting a subject that I can't answer that one, honestly, to tell you if this would, you can definitely do it on fabric, but I don't know if it's anything that would actually be able to go through the washer and dryer, okay? So if you were trying to do like a pillow, or if you want to do like a cornice box, or do something that's fabric that's not going to get washed, I think you wouldn't have any problem at all. If you were trying to do a pair of jeans, I'm not sure that this product will make it through the washer. Do you have to top coat it? Great question there, Catherine. And it depends, okay? I'm going to give you a vague answer there. If I'm doing an embossed design, okay, so if I'm doing this, and this is going to be a wall treatment, okay, so this would just be on somebody's wall in their home, no, I'm not going to top coat it. This stuff dries incredibly hard, okay, so you don't have to worry about top coating if it's on a wall. Now, as far as a project like a piece of furniture, again, it does dry so incredibly hard that if I already had top coated the piece and then did the embossing on top of it, no, I wouldn't have to. I think it could definitely stand alone on its own without having to be top coated. If I did the embossing and, you know, maybe like on a drawer front, did some beautiful design right where maybe like a pole or a knob is going to go, definitely you could top coat over it. If you bring the sheen down, so if, let's say you wanted to do more of like a satin finish, you might take some of the shimmer away from the glass beads. So it might be advisable to go ahead and clear coat everything and then come back and do this, because this material is very, very hard, okay? It has some flexibility to it, but it dries hard enough that I just don't think there's anything that you're going to go in there and be able to actually get any of that off. And this is like stuck just to paper, okay? So you can imagine how well it will stick and adhere to your surface. So I think you definitely could do it after. On my desk that I'm going to do for my office, I'm definitely planning on doing some glass beads on there. I want to bling that out. It's going to be my desk, so it's going to be pretty and blingy. So I think that's it for now, you guys. I can't get over how gorgeous this really is. This is fun, and I'm going to have to really think twice about if I'm going to finish this off with the rest of the stencil design, or just leave the glass beads, because that, even with the floating flowers, is just an awesome look. So sometimes when you have even ideas in your head, until you execute them and put them into a sample, you're not always sure exactly which way you're going to go. And even for me, after doing this for close to 30 years, sometimes what I have in my mind's eye doesn't always execute as well as I had anticipated, or I get what I call this just being a happy accident, okay? That for a beautiful finish, I might not have to go any further. I might just be done. But there's a part of me that's going to go, oh, but what else would it look like if I did take it further, okay? So, yeah, that's going to be the next question. Which way am I going to let that stay? Oh, okay, Leslie, you must have tuned in a little bit late, but it is my glass bead gel under my own brand called Artsyville, and I think that the link is up here in the comments, okay? If not, we'll make sure that we get it on the comments. And then the tool that I was using to apply is called the Color Shaper, and that is also on the website. So you'll find that on there. So these are some really cool things to work with. And the other thing, you guys, even though I scraped off my stencil and wiped off as much as I can so I don't have a lot of glass beads going down the sink, you want to clean everything as quickly as you can. You don't want that bead gel, okay? I'm going to show you guys how hard it really is. It can get so hard if you don't clean it off right away and you forget, okay? So I was playing around, I was doing something back here, and I forgot to clean off the stencil. Okay, you guys, I think this is permanently stuck on there, okay? I don't think that's ever coming off of the stencil. And this is on plastic. So not unless I came in here, I don't even, picking is not gonna pull that stuff off. So you do want to clean everything and clean it quickly, okay? So as soon as I'm done with this, I'm definitely gonna go back and wash my tools and my stencil off. Leslie, you're having a question, your canvas. What was my canvas that I worked on? I'm not sure about the question, so elaborate on that one for me if you would. Also, you guys, if I've missed anything here, okay, if I've missed any of your questions, I'll definitely go through and read everybody's comments and reply if I forgot to respond or just didn't see it as I was working. Leslie, this is called Styrene Board, okay? So it is a plastic material called styrene, and they make fabulous sample boards. They're lightweight. I also carry the styrene. They're 18 by 24 inch boards, and then you can cut them down to smaller boards if you like. So that's just what I like to use. Some people like other things, but I can stack. I used to be able to stack, dozens of those into a portfolio and take them out to a client's house. But I'm retiring from that part of my my occupation or career, so I will not be going out to clients' houses. Now sample boards are just for me, okay? So I get to play and figure things out and decide what I'm going to do and execute onto a piece of furniture. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. And then if you'd love to learn more stuff that I'm doing around here and showing very detailed tutorials and finishes and taking you from step one to step whatever. Check out my artistic and creative inspiration painting group on here. I'll make sure the link is put onto this thread, and you guys can check it out. It's just a monthly fee of only $37 to belong, and we are doing a special through the end of the year. If you buy 5 months, you get one free, and if you buy 12 months, you get 2 months free. So great little incentive to go ahead and sign up before the end of the year, because you'll get a little bonus. But it's a great place where I definitely go through every step with you guys, very detailed in the training. So this is just like a little bit of a teaser of what we do in that room, okay? And for those of you that are in the room, you know what we're talking about. So fun stuff. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys decide to play with some glass beads. Don't forget about your glitter, your mica flakes. Those are my 2 favorite things to add to them, to add color, and just play and have some fun. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a blessed evening. Bye.